everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Yes, I am alive, and yes, I am bringing you a tutorial. It's been a while, and I am so sorry to keep you guys waiting. But it's been crazy. It's been a crazy life. For today's tutorial, you probably clicked on it because you saw the thumbnail. We are doing the zebra stitch, and that is what this guy looks like. Yeah, so it's mainly one color and then black and white, but you can do it, you know, in any one color that you want. This is actually the one that I made in the video, so I used, you know, the pink, black, and white. So yeah, I also just want to give you a heads up in this video. I do make a mistake, and I'm so sorry. So sorry. You know what? I'm just gonna let you watch it. Yeah, I'm just apologizing now for it. Yeah. So it's during the starting point of the keychain. So, and I let you know when I mess up. So I'm just giving you a warning here. I'm so sorry. Okay. So yeah, it's okay. It's fine. We don't talk about it. It's just a stupid mistake. Okay, it's fine. So without further ado, let's get into making this keychain. So you need two colors that are really your main colors, and that is black and white. So here's my black and white, and then like I said, I'm gonna do hot pink for my main color. Again, this does not have to be the same as what I'm doing. You can do green, you can do orange, you can do purple, you can do blue, whatever color you got, whatever color you want to make. But I'm gonna do pink. So what you're gonna need to do is you're going to cut 4 strings. You're gonna cut 1 white, 1 black, and then 2 of whatever color you're using. So you need 4 strings total. And each string, all 4 of them, are going to be 5 feet long. Okay, 60 inches long if you're measuring in inches, or 5 feet. If you've watched the tornado tutorial, this is the same string length that you need for tornadoes. And honestly, if you look at the zebra stitch and compare it to a tornado, they're the exact same thing. You're just starting them differently to get the black and white to sit on top of each other to get that stripe effect. I now have my strings cut, and I have my handy dandy key ring. I'm just gonna set that off to the side because I do not need that right now. So I have my 1 black string. I'm gonna set that off to the side because I will not need that just quite yet. I have 1 white string. Again, setting that also off to the side because I do not need it. And then I have 2 pink strings, which again is my color. So here's 1 and here's 2. So I have two strings. You are gonna start with your colored string first. And again, I'm sorry, I kind of explained this in my intro. I'm sorry if you hear me sniffling or my voice sounds really deep. I have a head cold. I'm sorry. I really want to get this tutorial out to you guys because I keep pushing it off and I am kicking myself for it. So we're sucking it up today and we are doing it. So taking your 2 colored strings, these are both separate, so I have one in one hand, the other in the other hand. I'm going to line up my edges so that they're pretty even, okay? And then I'm going to drag my hand to the other 2 ends, and I'm gonna line up all 4 ends together, okay? So all my ends are together. I'm gonna hold them down with my one hand, and I'm gonna find the middle with my other hand. So right here is the middle. So I'm going to keep a hold of that. I'm gonna pinch it, because we do not want to lose that. So I am right-handed, so I'm gonna switch this over to my left hand because it will not go well for me if I do this left-handed. So I'm just gonna very carefully bring that over, okay? Notice how I have my strings side by side. They're not on top of each other, they are side by side. This will make this starting process very, very easily if you have your strings side by side. If they're on top of one another, good luck. It does happen and is very easy to happen, but just be cautious of it and try and, you know, keep them side by side as best you can. Okay, so here's my middle. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring in either my black or my white string. I learned to do the black one first, so that's just what I'm going to show you guys here. So I'm gonna find one end of my black, still holding on to the centerpiece. And here is one end of my black. I'm gonna take it underneath both pink strings, and I'm just gonna slide it through a little bit till I get a grip of it under my finger. And then I'm going to bring in the other end, and I'm just gonna line them up. So I'm just putting this over. So you're basically finding the center of your black string. So I'm gonna hold down my strings, I'm gonna pull, boom. There is the center of my black strings and the center of my pink strings. When you have the center of this, I'm going to lay my strings to the left. Okay, so underneath, and it's also over top. This is where keeping your main colored strings side by side becomes difficult. So I'm just gonna pinch that down, okay? You're gonna do the same exact thing with your white string, except you're gonna put it below the black. So I'm just gonna sneak it under there. And okay, that didn't work. I mean, it worked, but that's not how I prefer to have it. So I'm gonna kind of pinch it under my left thumb, just to kind of hold it in place while I bring over the other end here. Okay, here's the other end, and I'm gonna go ahead and find the middle of the white. Again, not losing hold of this pink and black middle. So this second color is actually harder to hold in place because you have a lot, so you might have to wiggle your fingers and just, yeah. So you see how my pinks are now like overlapped? Yeah, that's a struggle. So good luck again trying to keep those side by side, but it is ideal to do that. Okay, and again, now I have these ones laying off to the right side. So my black's to the left, white's to the right, or if you started with white, make sure white's on the left, black's on the right, okay? But if you're following how I'm doing it, this is what you want. Once you have this, your black and white are side by side, your pinks are side by side, hopefully, you're gonna pinch that down with your finger so that nothing moves, because now we're gonna start to make some loops. So just like our tornado stitch, we're gonna start with the bottom left string, and if you're confused, just kind of lift under your finger and kind of see which one's your bottom left. I'll put these up here because then that way it's easier. Take your bottom left, and you're gonna make a loop up and over at an angle, and you're gonna put it between your top pinks and your blacks. Okay, there's one loop. Kind of make it big, because if you make them too small, you're gonna get confused with which loop is what, and then it's gonna just become a knot, and it's annoying. Take your top left string then, bring it down, keeping it parallel. Again, hooking it in place with another finger, just so it doesn't get crazy. Take your bottom right string, up and over, hold that in place, and then finally your top right, hold it in place. So here are my 4 loops. They are different sizes, but you can see up, down from where we took our strings. As long as you can tell that, you're fine. Now can be a little tricky, because now we need to take our black string, our top black string. By top, I mean whatever's showing on top. No, sorry. Our bottom string. I always get that confused. I'm not gonna lie. when I make these, I obviously am not explaining it, because I just make them for people and then they actually finish the keychain I started, they finish it. You take the bottom, and I'm so sorry to confuse that. So I'm gonna move my finger here and you can look. So instead of this top string, we're gonna take the bottom one. I'm losing my black strings here. Okay, so I'm gonna take the bottom one. The one that we took underneath the two. And we're gonna do our over, under, over, unders. No. Oh my gosh. Guys, I'm having a brain freeze. I'm sorry. It is the top. It is the top. Oh my gosh, this is so sad. You think I would know. I don't. It is the top. So we want the top string, which is this guy. This is your first string that you're gonna over, under with. So over, under. And my strings are kind of like low, high, so I can easily see which one's which. So yeah, okay. Top black string, not the bottom. I lied. I'm sorry. Don't hate me. I make mistakes, okay? It happens. All right, now you're gonna take your white, the top white, thank you. And now my strings here are starting to get a little confusing. I'm sorry. So because my strings are getting confusing, I'm getting confused. Over, under. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm falling apart. Maybe I shouldn't have made the video today. Maybe I should just relax in bed because I'm sick. Okay. Now we do the white. Top, white, over, under. Again, be careful with your loops because as you just saw, mine are already confusing me. You gotta make sure that you're looking at the order of your loops. Okay, now we can take the bottom string, same thing. Over, under. Okay, and then we have our last one, which is our white. Over, under. Now you might notice with the starting of this, with our tornado, we had each color be parallel. That's not the case this one. Your pinks are, your black and white are alternating. Black, white. Okay, so that's why we start it differently, so that it can be alternating. All right, once you have this, I already took my finger off because I'm not gonna lie, it was cramping, so I had to get it off of there. And I'm just gonna take 4 and 4, and I'm gonna gently pull. If you do not get a quad box like I'm going to get, I'm sorry, I probably confused you with the top and bottom, which happens. And I'm not gonna lie, if somebody out there does do the bottom first, and they continue and they don't realize it, if it does come as a, you know, like this, like it turns out, like it doesn't fall apart, let me know in the comments below if that actually works, because I've never tried it, and personally, I don't really want to. So I'm gonna let you guys try it and let me know. All right, I'm just adding my key ring through the black and white, and then I'm just gonna tighten it one more time because adding the keychain kind of loosens it. And there's your starter box. It looks a little off-centered. That's okay. They always do. So after we do our first layer, it'll look better, I promise. Okay, again, I'm so sorry if that starting kind of confused you with the loops and starting with the top or bottom, black or white string. Always start with the top, black or white string, and always go over, under. That's why you really need to be careful with your loops when you make them, so that way they're not overlapping, because if you overlap them and you don't notice them, you're not gonna get this as your end result. All right, now that we have this beautiful mess, I mean, okay, let's be honest. She's cute. She's a work in progress. We'll get there. She will, I promise, she will look like this in the end. I promise. So let's go ahead and I'll walk you through doing the first couple layers. Just like tornado, DNA, you know, all that. Each layer is doing the same thing over and over and over again. So once you do this a couple times, you'll be done in no time, okay? So I'm going to hold my key ring, pointer finger in, thumb just holding it. That way I have something to hold on to while I do the first layer. This layer can be the trickiest because you have nothing to hold. It's the first one, so your strings are not like uniform. As you can see, my box is like not completely flat. It's close, but it's not there, so that is a problem, but that's okay. Once we do the first layer, it will flatten it out and it will be gorgeous. So just like the tornado, and that's all this is the tornado stitch. So if you know that, boom, you already know the stitch. But for those who don't know the tornado stitch, I'm gonna walk it through for you. So you're always gonna start with your bottom left string here, and if you kind of look, there's the left, this one's on the right, so you want the left one here. You're gonna take it up and over, kind of like how we did our 4 loops when starting it. You're gonna take one loop, you're gonna put it between your top left and your white strings. It's kind of at a side right now, that's okay. You wanna angle it because that gives it that spiral effect. All right, next you're gonna take your top left string and you're gonna bring it down towards you, and you're gonna keep these two parallel, semi-parallel. There's a big gap, but that's okay. All right, so you brought that down, and it's not over crossing this pink string, it's to the left of it. Okay, then take this bottom right string, take it up. It's gonna sit beside that string that we just brought down, and again, that is okay. And then your top right is coming down beside it parallel. So these two are parallel, these two are parallel. Now, same thing like we do with the tornado. We're gonna start with the top left string, which is this white. We're gonna go over the first, under the second, over the third, under the fourth. We're gonna pull that through and we're gonna let it lay at the top of all of these loops. It doesn't look like that, and again, that's because it's the first loop. It's hard to put it back there. Okay, but we're laddering down. We're gonna alternate white, black, okay? So now I'm gonna take the top black, I'm gonna make sure we're gonna go under that white. So over, under, and again, I didn't crisscross the black with the white. They are parallel, and again, it is underneath the white, so white, black, okay? Now we're gonna do the white. Same thing. Over, under, over, under. Oh, see, now I did that. I took it through that black loop. You don't want that. You want to make sure that it is outside of the black loop. Okay? It is its own string. Alright, last one. Black. Oh yeah. Over, under, over, under. Okay, I'm gonna pull that through. I'm gonna make sure I don't have any twists because that's a pet peeve of mine, and I don't like them. So I always double check for twists, and normally you won't see them when you first have it like this. Maybe when you start pulling you might see some, and that's okay. I'm looking pretty good so far, but you're just pulling, making them very tight. And as you can see, now we have a flatter box that we can work with. Okay, So what we just did there for that layer is what you're gonna do for about 50 to 60 times. So I'm gonna walk you through that layer one more time, and then if you're still confused, you can go back and you can re-watch them over and over again, because I'm not gonna sit here and record each, 50 layers. So again, here are my strings. They are laid out, they are good to go. I'm gonna take this bottom left and I'm gonna loop it up and I'm gonna put it between the top pink and your blacks. Okay, and I'm gonna bring this one down towards me, keeping that parallel. Okay, taking the bottom right, going up, and bringing the top right, bringing it down. So once we have our 4 loops, we're gonna go ahead and do the sides. So here's my top. Again, we're going over, under, and I'm gonna put it all the way to the back. Take the white, we're gonna ladder our way down, over, under, pull that through. I'm gonna put those kind of side by side. Take the black, or your second black, I guess, your bottom left black, over, under, maybe. There we go. Okay, now this one you might need to scooch up a little bit just to fit in your last string, which is the white, over, under. Okay, take 4 strings in each hand, gently pull, make sure you don't have any twists, do it a little tighter, and boom, another box. Okay, so as you can see, we are starting to spiral, which is fantastic. That is what you want. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys work on your layers. I'm gonna go work on mine, and then I'll show you how to tie it off, and we'll be good. Okay, so I went ahead and did one more layer, and this is how much string I have left. My black, I believe, are my shortest. I have a very short black, and I have a very short pink. So just be mindful with your string lengths at the bottom. So I'm gonna hold this in my left hand, and I'm going to grab all the strings, and I'm going to loop all of them around my one finger. And while I do this, I'm kind of making sure that none of my strings are like twisted, making sure they're all flat. That way in your like tie or whatever, in your knot that you'll have, nothing's twisted. Okay, I'm gonna slip that off my finger to create a loop there, and then one by one, I'm just gonna feed through all of my strings. Again, some are longer than others. I prefer to do the longer strings first, that way you're not continuing to, feed through your shorter strings. So last one. Okay, once all your strings are fed through, I'm gonna grab a hold of them, and I'm gonna push down on this, and then I'm just gonna kind of pull. I'm gonna keep doing that until we get a tight knot, or a tight-ish, because then we're gonna make it tighter here. I'm then gonna hold the knot right there, and then I'm gonna pull each string to make it even tighter. And I do feel the strings getting tighter down there, okay? And then I'll do one more final push. Boom, there's my knot. Now, depending on how much string you have left, can determine how long you want your tail to be. Honestly, I normally measure them from keychain, from the top of the key ring down to about 6.5 to 7 inches. I'm actually not gonna do that. I'm feeling where this black string ends is a great length. So here's the finished product. Again, you can do any colors you want, 2 colors, 1 color, whatever. These are available on my Etsy. They are the zebras. This one actually will be available on it now. I'm kind of restocking it, so we are good. Alright everybody, that was the zebra stitch tutorial. I hope this helped you, guided you, whatever. I really hope it did not confuse you, especially the beginning when I made my mistake. My bad. I don't talk about it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If there is another stitch that you want me to create a tutorial on, please comment that down below and I will try and have that up before Thanksgiving. No promises, but that's my goal. So we're gonna try and keep that set. So fingers crossed. So please do not forget to like and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. Honestly, my channel has grown so much even when I haven't been active, and I'm so appreciative of that. Like, I don't have the words. Like, we hit not 100, 1,000 subscribers, and I didn't think I'd ever get to that. So honestly, thank you guys so much. And yeah, I hope that I can continue providing you guys with, you know, these tutorials and, you know, just ideas in general and everything. So yeah, also don't forget to check out my Etsy, because why not? You guys love me on here, love me on my Etsy, support me. So thank you guys again, and I will see you guys before Thanksgiving.